Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei. We're so back. We're so back. Like, actually, I'm home. I might sound a little rough, because I am. But today we're doing an event review of MCC Twitch Rivals, Color the World, whatever you want to call it. And cinema, what a beautiful event. We'll get into everything. Spoiler alert, of course, warning, I will talk about performances, results, etc. Also, the PNG tuber's back, because I'm using Sandwich Lord's VOD, and I don't want to just put his VOD on the screen and then have nothing on top of it. So there's something. I will have other things on screen too. But let's just get into every little bit of the event review in order. To start, I think if we just look through the VOD here, we'll see the team intros, of course, which was very fun. I always like the team intros IRL because it's obviously a bit more unique compared to the in-game versions. The in-game versions also still apply, but they, I guess, just introduced themselves twice here. But yes, the team intros were very fun. In particular, the ones that I think were the coolest were like the yellow team, orange team here, very nice as well. Very cute, of course, here. And then the yellow team was a banger because here we'll see them line up. And then here we go. It was really cool. I don't know, man. I was in person there, and I was just like, "That's sick." I wouldn't have thought of that. Either way, yeah, other intros were cool too. Opening of this event was just nice. The vibes are peak when you're in the audience. I'm sure some of you maybe watching this will have been there too. The vibes in the audience are at an all-time high, very peak. Here's another situation I think where the team intro is quite funny because. Yep. I just love to see it. Either way, now we'll get into, I guess, some of the more event-related things. I guess we could actually just skip ahead because if we go past the team intros, you'll see a moment where people are like in-game and they're like, wait a minute, what's going on? And then suddenly things start changing. Might actually be better if I grab the main POV. 1 second. I have returned and found it. So this also happened all live during like right after the in-game team section. There was this moment where they introduced Stan Bland or Stan whatever, the guy from Blancorp. It was like the CEO or whatever, right? And it was a very funny little intro. They used like stock footage. I thought it was funny, as you can see right here. And absolute banger. I thought it was cool. Yeah, here's some stock footage. Either way. This was kind of an opener to set the stage for what this event was going to entail, because for those of you who've watched, you'll know there was a story element to this event. Last event, there was some form of a story element where things started to turn gray. This one, it kind of got a step up, right? There was a next level story inclusion where there was essentially like a NPC that was taking over the event, was taking control over the event, and the players had to fight back, Color the World. It's kind of like a hero movie, superhero movie situation, technically. However, it was a very fun little thing that ties things together, and I spoke to both Stefan and Tom afterwards about this, and I commended their efforts for trying to go into a more story-based direction for the event, because we kind of agreed, like, as much as you could make new games and whatever, right? There is a level of quality that is just established in MCC that doesn't really need to be innovated upon, and the thing that they can do to kind of, go off of the standard track of doing events is adding a story element. We've seen this in Dragon Pit, we've seen this in some Twitch Rivals as well, etc. But it's nice to see MCC take a path similar to that as well. I think it's actually like really interesting. It makes things very unique, and it makes things way more exciting because now, as much as you are familiar with the games, the game excitement's always there. Who's going to win this? Who's going to win that? You now have an actual thing that ties things a bit more together and gets you more engaged and more involved. And especially with something like this, after every single little game, there's something happening. This is literally a situation where all the color was sucked out of the arena. You see like the banners in the back here turn gray. I don't know if you'll see it like live in action. There was also some people with a Blancorp hat on, or like a box, and then there's these like quotes, etc., which just made things way more like exciting and just like kind of, you know, unexpected, of course, to just see all of this take place. So yeah, I just wanted to say that just to start before I forget, that the story element that they introduced here was fantastic. I thought it was really cool. It made things really unique and very cool. So yes, just wanted to mention that to start. You see, like, literally right here, the thing just turned gray. So now, well, we'll leave this in the background, or actually, I'll grab sandwiches VOD again. Hold on one second. Here we go. We'll put sandwich in the background again. Let's get into the games. Shall we? Here is the MCC Color The World Wolfeei stats website. All the teams are here. This is now your last warning before we get into performances, because we're going to get into the performances of how people performed in the event, of course. So here is the stats, or more so the results of the event, with the green team taking first place. Pretty much unexpected. It was a team that was seen to be very strong from the start. It was very similar, if not the same team from last year, who I faced off against in Dodgebolt last year. However, the team was only marginally made more balanced, whereas the event's comp overall had lowered quite a significant amount. So, yeah, we already kind of expected green to be first. I think most people had that expectation. Pink also was one of the stronger contenders for this event, and I'm happy to see that they made second, of course. Nice to see Sandwich get his redemption arc, or more so, not a redemption arc, but his second chance playing this event and actually make it to the finals. Pangy as well, continuing the trend of Dutch newcomers in MCC Twitch Rivals EU who speak English, making it to the finals against the German team and winning. Like, isn't that crazy? It's insane that that's happened twice. If I had a nickel, you know, that's what I kept saying to people in the audience. They're like, what the hell? I was like, if I had a nickel. Either way, yeah, for the rest, this board of results is quite interesting. I think there are some expected parts, some less expected parts. I won't get into it, you know, specifically why, because people might not really like being told, like, oh, I expected you to do better or maybe worse. Either way, it's I think not a great thing to mention specifically where I thought people would do better or worse. However, this is quite an unexpected overall resulting board. I think the top two was expected. I think from like the rest of the board, there were some spots that I thought could get higher or lower, etc. Right? So overall, fun event. The results are interesting. I mean, very, very interesting for sure. So let's get into the games specifically. I'll try to actually pull up parts of the VOD. Sandwich here practicing his triple Neo for his build, which unfortunately in the intro did not end up working out super well. So let me just skip to game one, which was a Railroad Rush, which actually had a bit of an update this time around. I'll actually get the scoreboard here as well. Railroad Rush got changed to not necessarily changed in the way of like the way the game worked has been modified. What's been done is more content has been introduced to Railroad Rush, which was one of the main concerns I initially had when Railroad Rush was introduced, was I thought it was a very surface level game that didn't have much room to expand, and Noxer proved me wrong, because this was a pretty good way to expand the game and actually introduce a lot of new ways to approach the game, some new, you know, strategies, some new things to consider, especially the hedges, etc., which I can probably skip to briefly here as well. You'll see it here. There's a lot more green in the game now, and you had to work around these like hedges, dig through them, etc., and figure your way out, or out of a room, through a room, whatever, right? And I thought it made for a very interesting new layer of content for Railroad. For the rest, in terms of performances, Aqua Team popped off, you know, pretty good performance. I think for the most part, this was roughly how it went as expected. I know I spoke to both Jimmy and Ollie at the partner party briefly on Friday, and Ollie expressed that he was very worried about Railroad, so seeing them in 9th does not necessarily surprise me. So yeah, very, very interesting. I also think Orange Team ran into an issue or something where the minecart spawn point spawned at a place where they didn't realize they had to still place an extra rail, and that kind of screwed them over. It happens, it is what it is, but yeah, that was also one thing that I know was made note of, or people took note of at some point. Then we move on to Rocket Spleef, which also got updated a decent bit. This one is an actual change rather than an update, just to start, because they changed how the game works a little bit. If I just skip over really quickly, you'll see it right here. What they changed for Railroad Rush this time around was they made it so aggression in terms of PvP still applies, but it's more like how it used to work. If you don't know, not most recent, but like the major change with Rocket Spleef Rush compared to just previous Rocket Spleef was that they introduced elytras with durability, etc., that players could lower by being more active and engaging against people. What they changed, however, is they removed the ability for that durability to be lowered by getting shot, which was one of the main things that used to eliminate people, or that I used to limit people with, and other people also did, of course, when they were in the air. You'd shoot at somebody and their elytra would like break partially, and then they would just have a much harder time getting back up. That part has just been removed. You can still hit people and like spleef them, of course, but it just won't kill their durability for the elytra. And I think punching still works for lowering the durability of elytras. I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't, but it felt more reminiscent, or people mostly mentioned on Reddit that it was a lot more reminiscent of old Rocket Spleef, which is good. Because a lot of people had criticism of Rocket Spleef Rush previously, where they said that as much as there are things that improved the game, overall it felt like slightly weaker as a game compared to previous Rocket Spleef Rush. This rendition kind of bridges the gap in between, and it feels like a quote-unquote fixed version of Rocket Spleef Rush, which is good. I really like seeing that. For the most part, in terms of performances, this was relatively expected. I already mentioned Pangy continuing a trend. Not only is the overall event result got something to do with both Twitch Rivals EU having a Dutch person, blah, 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 whatever, Pangy also continues the streak, or the trend. We're now on 2 for 2 for a Dutch newcomer in MCC Twitch Rivals. You can add who speaks English primarily, but it doesn't matter, to win the first round of Rocket Spleef Rush. It's happened twice somehow. I don't know how, but it's happened twice. It's crazy, huh? I don't know how we keep doing it, but yeah, W Peggy. Shout out Peggy for that one. For the rest, of course, you know, with a team with like Phil on it, you'd expect them to do pretty well. The German team I know practiced as well and did really well last year too. So yeah, relatively expected results for the rest there in terms of Rocket Spleef Rush. Next up, Sky Battle. Sky Battle, I don't think ended up getting many changes. We'll briefly skip over there. I will say the Sandwich Lord POV that was put on screen for Sky Battle most of the time was kind of incredible. Actually, I just noticed something that I shouldn't skip over. There was a part during the event, I don't remember if it was after Railroad Rush or if it was after... it is after Railroad Rush. Yeah, so after Railroad Rush, the like story element introduced like a Splatoon-esque blaster that people could use to color the map or color the hub, like bring color back, which is very cool. You know, it's a very fun little extra element for people to engage with during the event. And yeah, just wanted to mention that because I just skipped over it on accident. So yeah, just so I didn't forget. Either way, then it was time for Sky Battle, which didn't really receive any changes, I think, which is totally fine, of course. Sandwich Lord, though, however, kind of the GOAT when it comes to individual Sky Battle performances here. I don't remember what he got individually, but he ended up doing really well. He made some fun plays. He did the funny at some point, which I think is in round 1. Let's see if we can find it, because it was against the green team, I think. But yes, Sky Battle. I'm just happy we got to see it in the what's it called? Happy we got to see it in the European rivals. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh, here we go. This is where the funny happens. The funny, 3, 2, 1, bang. He got 1 direct kill and 1 extra kill from that, which is very cool. And then he fell off the map. Which is just like, of course, great play Sandwich. Sandwich had a few of these moments where he'd do like something really cool and then just fall off or like make a huge mistake right after. But I think it made for a really entertaining POV, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. Either way, in terms of the results, this should have been kind of the expected result, I think, for the like main Battle Royale PvP game, is for the green team of like UHC players, etc., to just absolutely curb stomp everybody in this game. Still, the pink team, you know, did a really good job fighting for a second. The yellow team also, somewhat surprisingly, making their way into third. I didn't think they had that PvP aura in them, but apparently they did. I know Martin did like a classic creeper cobweb on the blue team, which, you know, it makes sense. The blue team hasn't played MCC that much, if ever, so seeing them get creeper cobwebbed was quite funny. I thought it was just fun to see, like, oh yeah, you can use these OG strats against some teams that maybe aren't as adapted to it, of course, right? But yeah, green team making an absolutely huge performance here. I'd actually want to look at the individual scores. I'll do that very quickly. Yeah, Sandwich, of course, taking first, but then you see the rest of green are just all there. Like, all right, second, third, fourth, and sixth. You know, didn't have to, you know, make it that big of a performance. Yeah, we'll look at Railroad as well, of course. It's team split, Rocket Spleef. Joel actually took first over Sandwich, which I think people noted or pointed out as well. And Wichtiger, I want to mention here as well. The, like, you know, less experienced player in terms of MCC, or in terms of watching it as well, taking fifth here. Very impressive. So, yeah, very cool, very good performance indeed. Either way, we move on to Meltdown. Meltdown, again, another situation of a game that I'm just glad to see make its appearance. Oh yeah, there was also like a little Minecraft movie clip that they showed, and then they revealed that you can buy the movie now. Either way, Meltdown, I'm just glad that we got to see it in the Twitch Rivals EU roster. I made I said my piece about this previously, where I said, why are we getting SG and NA gets Sky Battle and Meltdown? And look what happened. We got Sky Battle and Meltdown. Maybe MCC Twitch Rivals NA or whatever they're gonna call it is gonna have SG. We'll never know. Anyways, Meltdown was cool. I don't think Meltdown got any changes. Maybe it did. If it did, I forgot. But one thing that was very particular that people noted happened that people didn't really know about too much previously was that if your team is left alive to be last, like the last team to be alive, and they're still in the middle of the map, coin crates left, the game will let you get the coin crates, which is a very smart thing from the roster to, you know, remember, like, oh yeah, that's a thing that probably should be left available for a lot of people to get. And yeah, I think that's a good thing. I don't know when they made that change, but it's a good thing. One thing that I will mention about this game, as much as there are performances there in the game that are cool, etc. Just looking at the overall scoreboard, this really kind of shook things up a little bit. Green at this point, I think, was definitively going to be first place no matter what, especially knowing that Parkour was late. Green team was going to make first place. Anyways, however, Pink, I think, was already fighting for second, or was in second at this point. It was at least pretty damn close. And Meltdown, they got last. They ended up doing not so hot. And I think that actually made for a way more interesting overall result for the event, because it wasn't just two teams dominating the entire time. There was actually some level of, is a team going to win or whatever, right? Is it actually going to happen? Because the Pink team wasn't like definitively going to be top two the entire time. People were like, oh, it could happen near the last game, etc., knowing that Parkour was left, but we'll get to that later as well as to why things were interesting. Either way, this is the game where Blue Team showed up and got fifth. Hell yeah, you'll love to see it, of course. Also the team where Lime Team locked in, of course, you'll love to see it. And Aqua making another first place in one of the games was looking pretty promising at this point into the event. So yeah, very cool. Anyways, Hole in the Wall's next. Yet another game that I don't think really received any changes, but it doesn't need it. I just wanted to mention it. Hole in the Wall had some crazy, unexpected results. Round 1, I think, was won by Beck. Round 2 was won by Shelby. I think round 3 was won by Sandwich. But, like, that's, as much as that's still impressive, I think people, like, somewhat expect, oh yeah, that's probably, like, would happen. Shelby and Beck aren't typically the people you see winning Hole in the Wall, so it was just really exciting and refreshing to see them, you know, get their moment. And they also, like, were super excited, like, in the moment of, like, oh my god, I won a round. Like, it's just so, like, it's just fun to see all that in action. Also, interestingly, this is the game where Green Team ended up getting a bottom 2 placement. I did not realize this at the time, but again, like mentioned, I don't think it really ended up mattering that much, because we kind of all knew that that was going to happen, that they were going to get first place. This is also the team where, you know, Red Team locked in. I know Jeremy was very adamant on his, you know, Hole in the Wall performance. I think he ended up getting top 5, I want to say. Let me actually look at the Meltdown individual real quick as well. Owen taking first, actually, with Owen and Shadoon, both from the same team, of course, being in the top 2. Very impressive, of course. Love to see it. Etoile also making his way into 6th. Very cool. Love to see that. And then Hole in the Wall, Sandwich did take first in this game, of course. But Jeremy actually got 3rd, which is very impressive. I think last year he got like 10th or like near top 10, if I remember correctly, but ended up getting third overall, despite not winning any of the rounds. Very impressive. Very happy to see that he found his game, of course. You know, the Dutch people seem to like it a lot. I don't know where Link ended up placing. Yeah, Link ended up getting 21st as well, so that team just did pretty well. Sneak in 11th as well. So yeah, love to see that. W hole in the wall, no bias. Anyways, final game to be mentioned for this event, well, second final because we'll have Dodgebolt, is Parkour Warrior Survivor. So they made an adaptation of Parkour Warrior, which is Survivor, of course, you're familiar with it from Island, etc. It was also in Ender Cup, and it now is able to be picked for events like Rivals, where casting is involved, in a game like this obviously has a lot more to pay attention to in terms of, you know, overall audience perception, especially when you want to pick one specific POV. Survivor just works a lot better than something like a, what's it called? Something like Survivor, or sorry, Parkour Warrior regular version, right? The dojo version, essentially. Either way, Green Team made an absolutely super strong performance during this game. I kind of expected it. Some people were unsure because they didn't really know if the team would be able to do well at parkour, but because it's a team of all well-rounded Minecraft players, it was always going to do well in something like this, especially considering that I think the way the scoring works is like the further you make it, you get points, but also I think both Hugo and Wichtiger ended up making pretty good performances in the top 5 later down the line, or even earlier down the line, where they just consistently showed up and ended up in the, I think the final like few players left, I think ended up being Sandwich and then Wichtiger and Hugo. I could be wrong, but I think those were like the final few. I know Joel was in contention as well, and I might have missed somebody, so I'm sorry. Just those are the only 4 that I ended up seeing pop up in the final bit of the game. I think this is a cool game. I do hope it is going to be left exclusively for Rivals, because I do have one big criticism of this game. It's the same thing I have to say about a game like Voidbound in PB, is elimination-based parkour. It just feels really, really bad to be in a PvP game. It also feels bad. It's like one of the main things I don't like about elimination-based PvP is that you're just essentially disallowing somebody from playing most of the round. In something like Parkour Warrior Survivor, especially in this rendition where you have such a big gap between like the lower end and the higher end, you start to notice that like, oh, some people are not playing the game for more than half of this game. So hopefully we won't see it too often in the regular MCC rotation, but I do think specifically for something like Rivals, it can be very exciting for the audience, and you'll just have to firm like, oh yeah, somebody's just gonna have to kind of wait for, you know, a Sandwich Lord or whoever, or Fruit Berries or something, right, to finish their parkour or win the round or whatever. Which should be mentioned, Sandwich, now the only person, because the game's only been played once, to, or maybe not, but he is the only person so far in this version of Survivor, I'm not including Intercup because I don't remember who won that, to beat the Survivor, like to win. It was pretty hard. I was asked, do you think you would be able to win? And I was like, no, but I would get like 3rd. So yeah, and then if we look at the individual, of course, you see Sandwich in 1st, then you see Wichtiger, Hugo, and Joel here as well. I forgot, yeah, Curry ended up making a pretty strong performance here as well. He showed up for Parkour Survivor, which is very exciting. Also, I see the Dutch boys, you know, back to back, Jeremy and Pangy, and we're getting 11th and 12th. Hell yeah, you'll have to see it. Either way, that resulted in a total individual board that looks as follows. I will mention here that I expected Wichtiger to do really well. I didn't necessarily think he was going to get like that high. I think in my predictions at some point I said I think he could get 2nd, and my chat was like, nah, there's no way. But you got to remember, like, when you have a really dominant team, that does help a lot. So Wichtiger 2nd ended up happening. I think that's, yeah, makes sense. I'm not surprised at that one. Hugo, though, I will say, made a major improvement from last year. I think Hugo ended up bottom fragging the German team in 2024, and in 2025 he 2nd fragged, even over Noriax, who ended up getting the 3rd frag here, who was the top frag last year, I think, at least, or it was like close. So yeah, interesting things to note there, of course. For the rest, I mean, Joel getting 4th is impressive. He's been on a very strong event arc, but I think his team ended up placing in like the middle. Yeah, so getting 4th on that is very good. Hannah as well, getting 5th on a 8th place team is very strong performance as well. I think, where did Shadun's team place? 4th. Yeah, good from Shadun as well, getting 3rd overall. And yeah, you'll have to see it. You'll have to see it. Overall, very exciting event. I think it was good. I liked it. Despite not playing, just enjoyed the show, and I think it's cool and awesome and sick. Now we'll get to Dodgebolt, where I'll close this tab, because I feel like I got it. We got to talk about it a little bit. This was kind of a crazy one. I don't think we won't watch everything in full. I'll try to get Amy's POV up in a bit. But this was one of the best Dodgebolts ever, at least in the main series, like MCCs. This is one of the best Dodgebolts we have ever seen, mainly because AMZ did a 1v4 against a insanely strong and stacked German team, which is absolutely unheard of. Of course, I have to mention Ashwag did one too, and it's very impressive, but I will say the Amy one is a little crazier just because of the context of everything. You know, IRL, the pressure is on, and there's like a super overpowered German team staring you down, and Amy just locked in. You know, it didn't really matter apparently. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. But what ended up happening here is this German team ended up just doing really well round 1. I think, yeah, they only lost like 1 player to start, and then this is, I think, also Amy, right? Yeah, Amy here as well, trying their best. Got nobody down, I think. Yeah, ended up losing the round here, 3-0 in terms of survived players, green to pink, and then I think the next round, I think pink brings it back. They lose. Yeah, Sandwich shoots like 2 of the better players on the German team, which just means that the pink team is set up to do quite well. I think here they're dodging. I didn't remember. Oh, Amy fell off the arena. I didn't even realize that. Okay, but it's now all down to Sandwich, who ends up getting no kills there. I think he does end up getting 1. I'll just let it play out because I don't remember, honestly. I'm just watching the event back now. But Sandwich, I think, yeah, locks in here. They miss 1, and they miss another one. Yeah, because he fakes. Yeah, he pump fakes. That was beautiful. I forgot about that. The pump fake is insane. And then Hugo dies. Castcrafter, not yet. But pump fake again. Watch this, I think. Maybe, I don't remember. I think Sandwich goes for the double pump fake. They just didn't learn. Let's see. I'm just terrified now because I don't remember what happened. So pump fake. Pump fake again. Yep. You'd have to see it. You'll have to see it. The pump fake's just too good. It's just too good. And then Castcrafter jumps into the arrow, right? Surely. Yep. And there you go. Sandwich, I think, ends up getting an ace, technically, right? I mean, not technically. He just fully got the ace for his team. Ended up clutching up like crazy. You'll love to see it. Then I think it's round 3 where the German team does it really well again. I think do they even lose a player? I don't actually know if they do. Let's see this play out because I don't remember. This is terrifying, by the way. Having Noriax and Wichtiger just staring you down in Dodgebolt. I would know. Oh, it's Amy again. Wait, is this the clutch round? Oh, I skipped the round where the German team just went crazy. This is where things happen. This is where things take place. This is the round of all time. I should just get it from Ames's POV. 1 second. Okay, we're here. I'm gonna play it out with the sound on. Here we go.
Think of Ashwag.
This is genuinely
You've got 2 there.
probably the most impressive Dodgebolt performance we have seen. Like, actually.
You can do it too.
You've got this.
This
You're
is
okay. Take your time.
terrifying and so intimidating to face off against these 4 players solo. It's like so scary. I actually don't know if I saw this entirely from Amy's POV, but that's 1 down. That's 2 down. Big ones, by the way. Noriax, Wichtiger, 2 of the best. I literally just mentioned how scary it is to see both of them in front of you. And Amy shot both of them immediately. So that's, like, perfect. Then what happens is Amy dodges 2 of them. I think they end up... I think Amy ends up... what's it called? Missing 2, I think. and then dodges 2 again, and then
One miss.
things lock in. So we'll just let it play out. So 2 missed. The energy is at an all-time high.
Take
Amy
your
just
time.
cracked their neck, of course. You love to see
Let's go,
it.
MC.
You're okay.
And then the pressure is on. We'll
Think
see
of
what
that,
happens here. And never mind. I was wrong. I thought that there was a round where they missed. Never mind. I forgot. That's crazy though. 1v4, like first one in mainline MCC history, second one of course in MCC history after Ashwag, coincidentally also on the pink team. And then what's the funniest here is the funniest thing. You see it here. The funniest thing here is that Amy and everyone's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then I think Scott like runs over and is like, no, you have another round, sit down, and it's just like so funny because I was like right in front of their POV there, and it was just like actually like insane. Then I think, is Amy the one who closes out the Dodgebolt here, or was it Sandwich Lord? I don't remember. Hold on. Oh, oops. Oh, it's Sandwich Lord actually. So I want to grab this from Sandwich's POV real quick, which is over here, and then we will go over here, and yeah, here we go. Okay, so it ends up being a 2v3 again. Amy and Sandwich. Amy kills one here, which is obviously very nice. Then I think Amy goes down. It's just Sandwich left to clutch things up for his team, and it's just cinema. It's like actually cinema. It's just cinema. I do feel bad a little bit for the German team. Not a little bit, a lot. I feel pretty bad for the German team just because, of course, this is now their second time being here. There's no way of knowing if they get another chance to be here. Pump fake again. The pump fake's just too good. Castcrafter doesn't learn. He fell for it 3 times. Either way, Noriak's down, Castcrafter down, and yeah, it's GG's. It's GG's. Genuinely, like, beautiful performance from pink team, and the green team did really well too. I just understand that they're probably like so sad that they've made it this far twice and just have to like hope that they either get another chance or just accept that this may just be the end of the road. But yeah, shout out to pink team, of course. Amazing performance. Actually made a major comeback. Every single round pink team won was a clutch, right? Sandwich aced, Amy 1v4, and in the end still it came down to a 2v3 where Sandwich ended up getting both of the last kills to tie things all together. There was no dominant pink round from the jump. The green team did really well, but the pink team just did a little bit better. And that's it for MCC Twitch Rivals Color the World. That is the event. Let me know your thoughts on this event. I will say I'll try to rank it maybe on stream in terms of like which events I thought were the best from this year and last year combined. I think it's got to be top 3, probably. I don't remember what the ranking was that I made last year. I think probably number 1 Ender Cup, and I think number 2 I probably put my Twitch Rivals I played in. This one is either in between or it's the best, right? This was like genuinely, the story element was really good. The actual like results, etc. of this event was really impressive and like just an insane performance. And also something that is important to note is Gucky is now the first and as of right now only person to have 2 crowns in real life. Because Gucky won Twitch Rivals NA last year and then also won here. So you'll have to see it. You'll have to see it. Anyways, cinema. It's beautiful. You'll have to see it. Anyways, thank you for watching and I'll see you later. Goodbye.